Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Best Things to Do in Toronto, Canada by a Local. So this, I believe the best sort of videos and probably best advice in general comes from people that are actually locals, just because when it comes to city and tourism, because obviously they're the ones that know all the hot spots and all the good places that only locals know about. So I'm excited. Let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
If you're visiting for a week or so, here's the top things you should consider doing on your visit. You may not be able to fit all of this into one trip, but at least by the end of this video, you'll have some great options and can plan your custom itinerary.
I do not like the idea that, I know it's obviously that's the reality of life, but just 1 week, it's not really enough for you to visit everything. Because obviously if you're traveling a new place, of course you like, no, I wanna visit everything. I wanna know everything. But I know sadly, that's really, it's impossible for a human person to visit that many places.
The St. Lawrence Market is an icon of the city and at the center of the food scene in Toronto. This famous market is consistently ranked among the top food markets in the world, and at one time was ranked #1 by National Geographic. It's been in operation for 220 years. The St. Lawrence
Hopefully the building has been renovated a few times.
Market has held on tight to its historical roots. It's one of the best places in the city to get a feel for the old world charm of Toronto's past. It offers a chance to slow down, embrace the market atmosphere, browse the endless food and retail stalls, and enjoy a day taking in the sights, sounds, and aromas of one of the best and most vibrant markets in the world. The St. Lawrence Market District is located between Old Toronto and the Distillery District, making it very centrally located to several other Toronto attractions and neighborhoods. The market is open every day, except on Mondays. If you want to experience the market when it's bustling with vendors and locals, visit on a Saturday morning. The best place to start
well, that looks, because I'm going to assume people are actually doing their shopping. So if you're a tourist, you're probably, you're just going to be in the way from the perspective of people that are actually trying to shop. They're like, can you please move?
Exploring is outside on Market Street. This pedestrian-only street is lined with cafes, restaurants, and historic buildings. Inside, you'll find 120 different vendors selling all kinds of delicious food and retail items. While many of the shoppers in the market are locals buying their weekly groceries and ingredients, the market is a big draw for tourists who are there to experience the market and eat.
I'm realizing I'm not sure about what kind of food Canadians, what's the local food, what's the typical Canadian food? It's poutine, probably. I have no idea.
This place is a very interesting and uniquely Toronto attraction. There's lots to see and do in the city, but St. Lawrence Market is for sure one of the best places to go for an authentic Toronto experience. You're going to find locals, travelers from around the world, and amazing food vendors all converging in this one place, and it creates a very cool experience. Add to that Toronto's multicultural population, and you get a market experience that's hard to match. Founded in 1914, the Royal Ontario Museum is one of the most important cultural institutions in North America. The ROM showcases art, culture, and nature from every corner of the world and spanning billions of years. It's Canada's largest museum and houses 13 million artworks, cultural objects, and natural history specimens, featured in 40 gallery and exhibition spaces. Set aside a day to check this place.
It's completely the actual interior. It's very different from what I was expecting, just based on how the facade looked like. It's very, it's interesting, but it's I love it, but it's really weird.
It's one of the best museums I've been to and a must-do when visiting Toronto.
Absolutely.
You'll find amazing exhibits and galleries covering subjects that span the entire timeline of Earth. First Peoples pays homage to the Indigenous peoples of Canada and showcases artifacts like canoes, tools, and clothing. In the China and Korea exhibit, you'll find Chinese murals and sculptures from the 12th to 15th century. There's over 260 artifacts from Korea on display, ranging from the 1st century right up to the 21st.
Does Canada have a history of a lot? Because it's kind of, is it a little bit weird, at least to me. There's a permanent exhibit from Korea, and I think it was China, but especially Korea. Do they have some sort of tie that I am unaware of between? There's some ties, maybe a lot of immigrants or something from Vietnam and I think Korea and China. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Plus, there's an amazing section on Chinese architecture. In Dawn of Life, you'll take a journey back in time some 4 billion years to the origins of life on Earth. You can explore one of the most amazing fossil collections in the world and learn about the beginning of life and extinctions that have shaped the planet. The Dinosaurs exhibit is one of the best collections of dinosaur fossils in the world and an iconic section at the ROM, showcasing all kinds of specimens from land, sea, and air, dating from 200 million to 65 million years ago. In
I would be there. I love it. I love this.
mammals, you'll see an overflow of dinosaur fossils, plus ice-aged mammals such as a huge mastodont, a saber-toothed
They have a lot of them. They have a lot of fossils.
tiger, and a giant ground sloth. Birds presents these amazing winged creatures in full
my
flight. One of the
God.
highlights here is the albatross with its 9-foot wingspan. The Batcave is one of the more famous
I think, well, yes, you usually don't see albatrosses just in the wild, but looking at it like this, it's ginormous. That's a giant bird.
highlights of the ROM, filled with more than 20 bat specimens and over 800 models.
Why are they're in a cave? But there's bats. Obviously, they're not real. But I love the whole ambiance. There's a real cave.
Cave is a realistic portrayal of the St. Clair Cave in Jamaica. There are more amazing exhibits in the Europe, Africa, and Asia sections of the museum. Artifacts
Oh, okay. There's not a specific tied to Asia. They have other sections from other parts of the world. Okay, this looks incredible.
here date back thousands of years, and exhibits cover a wide range of subjects from ancient civilizations, ancient technology,
those
artwork,
nice?
religion, and much more. The Ancient Egypt exhibit is an iconic gallery at the ROM. This amazing collection spans from 4000 BC to 400 AD and showcases real mummies, artifacts, and glimpses into daily life and rituals. The ROM also has a couple good spots to eat and grab coffee, so you can explore
You can also eat, yeah, of course, but I want to go back to the exhibits. I want to know more about them.
all day. Built by the Canadian National Railway in 1975, the intended purpose of the CN Tower was to broadcast radio and television signals over the city's skyscrapers, and it was an opportunity to showcase Canadian innovation and the country's industrial ambitions. At 1,815 feet tall, the CN Tower was the tallest building.
This looks a little frightening. I don't really know much about Toronto, but one of the most architectural distinct pieces that I think Toronto has is definitely this. I didn't know the name, but I've seen it, and of course, that's a Canadian, and specifically I think from Toronto. So it's the CN Tower.
In the world for over 30 years. Your first stop after exiting the elevator
It's this sort of landscape that there's the tower, and that's Toronto.
is the main observation deck and the famous glass floor. If the
It's like 30
elevator ride
Rock.
to the top wasn't unnerving enough for you, step out onto the glass floor. If you're really brave, try laying down. If you want a drink and a bite to eat,
Well, if you're laying down, I think it's not that, because I think the real frightening part comes when you're going up or if you're walking. But if you're just laying down, the problem is me seeing below. So if I'm not actually seeing it, it's okay. You can take a picture as long as I'm not seeing. Do not look down. Great piece of advice.
check out View Bistros, where you can get beer, wine, coffee,
Great
pastries,
views.
and snacks. I picked up a chocolate croissant and found a nice window seat overlooking the city skyline. There's a restaurant up here too, but I haven't tried it, so I can't comment.
I'm wondering if it spins. Some of those towers spin.
The CN Tower may have lost its title as the world's tallest building, but the views have only gotten better over
At some point, it was the world's tallest building. It doesn't appear to be so. It looks tall, but not that tall. But maybe it's just because, yes, you have the perspective of it's not the tallest anymore.
the years as the city has grown up around it, creating a vast cityscape. After
It's
completing
gorgeous.
the main observation deck, you can head up to the Skypod, which is 33 stories higher than the main deck, and it's considerably smaller. Note that this is an additional cost, so make sure you add this when you buy your general admission ticket. You can also
Okay.
do the Edge Walk for an additional cost. The CN
What's
Tower
the
is
Edge
right in the
Walk?
heart of the city, and there are lots of other attractions within walking distance. The CN Tower
Yeah, I like that everything's between walking distance. So technically, you could do all of those things in the same day. Although I wouldn't recommend it. I would spend a few days in the museum and probably in the market. But you could technically do a lot of these things in the same day.
is also super handy for navigating your way around. All you have to do is look up and find the tower to get your bearings.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, you usually do that with cities. That particular building is up north or east or west. So whatever you are in the city, you're always going to be, okay, we should go over there.
A truly
Another
unique
market.
Toronto thing that you won't find anywhere else is the Kensington Market neighborhood. Located just west
it's
of
a
downtown, it
neighborhood.
steps from Spadina in Chinatown. This neighborhood is walking distance to the city center, yet it feels like it's in a world of its own. Many Toronto neighborhoods have a distinct character and charm, but Kensington stands out from the rest with its vibrant colors, vibrant people, and its eclectic shops and food. And if you're into thrifting, you'll love this place.
Oh.
This neighborhood really started to develop its uniqueness in the early 1900s when Jewish families moved into Kensington. They began setting up stalls in front of their homes, and many merchants converted the ground floor of their home into stores. And this tradition has been in place ever since. Still
like
today,
it.
when you walk down Kensington Avenue, you'll find the same setup, with storefronts on the ground floor spilling out into the streets, with living quarters on the second and
That's so
third
interesting.
floors. Over the decades, Kensington saw waves of immigrants settle in the neighborhood, and many continued the tradition of adding storefronts on the ground floor of their homes. With a mix of cultures all living together in this area, it developed a vibrant and eclectic character. You
Yeah, it's very eclectic because if you have immigrants from all over the world, you get something like this. I like it.
won't find another neighborhood like it, so it's definitely worth checking out on your visit. If you
It's very artsy, very bohemian, and very colorful. I love it.
can, visit on Pedestrian Sunday.
Pedestrian Sunday, what is that?
The Art Gallery of Ontario is one of the largest art museums in North America, attracting approximately 1 million visitors each year. The AGO has a stunning
lot.
collection of more than 120,000 works of art,
Very modern
ranging
looking.
from contemporary works to works by Indigenous, Canadian, and European masters. After passing through the main lobby, one of the highlights and certainly the
It's a
largest
weird-
work of art in the AGO is the
Oh.
Frank Gehry Stairs. And the great architecture doesn't end here. The entire
I love that it's an art piece, but at the same time it's functional because it's stairs. So I love it.
gallery is full of beautiful architectural spaces. Be sure to grab a coffee and bite to eat here, as the food is really great. You have two options for food: the AGO Bistro, which is a proper sit-down restaurant, and the Espresso Bar, which is where I ate. It was delicious. The AGO
good.
is a great escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. It's quiet, the food is great, and you'll be surrounded by amazing art and architecture. Overlooking the
that?
city of Toronto sits an historic castle with secret passageways, underground
castle?
tunnels, a rich Hollywood history, and incredible opulence. Castle
What is
Loma
this
is
place?
considered one of North America's only true castles, and it's definitely worth checking out.
What?
The audio tour is great and provides tons of interesting info
Oh, was it like a French castle or something like that?
about the castle's owner and provides a glimpse into what Toronto was like in the early 1900s. The tour starts in the
Okay.
Great Hall, then moves out
Not that old. I was expecting something a little bit, perhaps a little bit older from the 1800s, but this is sort of a new castle. I like that.
outside to the beautiful gardens and terraces with great views of downtown Toronto and the
It's so weird to see a castle like this and all the modern city overlooking the modern city. It looks a little bit out of place, but that's what makes it interesting.
distance. After exploring the gardens, the tour moves back
found-
inside and explores many of the 98 rooms of this massive home. Sir Henry
98?
Pellet,
Who lived there? There's so many rooms. Maybe they should convert this into a hotel.
owner of Castle Loma, was so rich and successful that at one point he controlled 25% of the Canadian economy. It
Oh
wouldn't
my.
last, however, as he
Oh.
eventually went broke and lost everything. It's a fascinating
Well, maybe he shouldn't have built such a big castle.
story and incredible home to explore. Be sure to check out the secret stairways behind the fireplace in Pellet's office. Other highlights include the two towers at
I love I love castles because they have stuff like this. They have a secret staircase that leads to a hidden room. This is incredible.
top of the castle, which offer expansive views of the city. You'll find food options on both the terrace outside and down in the basement at the Liberty Cafe. Down in the basement is
The basement, there are restaurants in the basement. I think that would be it's a little scary. I don't know what kind of things are in a castle basement, but I like that they have a restaurant.
where you'll also find movie posters and info about all the Hollywood movies that have been filmed at the castle over the years.
Oh.
There's also an
I was thinking they have Canadian films. No, it's just films that have been shot there. It is very interesting. I would like to know if I've ever seen a movie with this that features this castle.
indoor pool turned movie theater, which plays an interesting documentary about Sir Henry Pellet. From the
Oh.
theater, the tour continues through one of the most famous features of the castle,
What is
the
this?
underground tunnel, which connects to the other portion of the property, the stables. At
What?
800 feet long, it allowed the home's owner to travel from his home to his cars and stagecoaches without stepping out into the cold Canadian winter air. Toronto
Oh, yeah. What was the purpose? I like it because it's interesting, obviously, and you want to do it for the gimmick. Then why would the owner be, I'm going to go to the underground tunnel to go to my car? It's, what are you doing? You can just walk through the gardens. But no, of course, rich people, they don't want to walk in the cold winter.
It's a very modern city with shiny new glass.
They could actually, this is kind of silly because I'm thinking about it, and they could have just called the driver and be, can you pick up my car and just bring it over to the front door? You don't need to go to the extremes of building an underground tunnel.
Glass buildings and contemporary architecture. Casa Loma allows guests to step back in time to another century and experience the city
Beautiful
from
car.
a different perspective. Most of the places on this list are unique to Toronto and experiences you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Ripley's Aquarium, however, can be found in other big cities. But what I really like about this is that it has an exhibit dedicated to the Great Lakes and oceans that surround Canada, which is something I haven't seen in other aquariums. Canadian Waters takes you on a coast-to-coast journey exploring more than 80 species of marine life found in the lakes, rivers, and coastal kelp forests of Canada. 20% of the world's fresh water is found in Canada, so there's lots to uncover in this exhibit. Other exhibits include
Maybe the statistics look kind of crazy, but I think it makes sense when you take into account that Canada is very big and it's surrounded by a lot of water. So, you know what? Maybe it does make sense.
Include Rainbow Reef, which is over 200,000 liters of water and is home to 100 species of fish.
Oh my God!
And Dangerous Lagoon, which is the aquarium's largest exhibit with 2.9 million liters of water and features sharks, rays, and sea turtles. Plus, it
Oh, they have sea turtles. This is lovely. I think I like these places obviously when you have the little sort of tunnel and the water surrounds you, obviously in aquariums. But it's you know, imagine this breaking. Obviously, it's probably what are the chances? It has never happened. It's not gonna happen. But I think there's a part of my brain that constantly goes, well, imagine this breaking.
has the longest moving sidewalk in North America. The aquarium also has the Discovery Center,
right.
which is an interactive
Great.
exhibit and a lot of fun for kids. One of the highlights here is the clear glass tunnel going right through shark-infested waters. There's a cafeteria here. And
Shark-infested waters sounds quite dramatic, but I like that there's a little tunnel. I wonder why is it so small? Is it for kids? Well, there was an adult, but I'm wondering if the primary target for this were kids. I would want to go there and I'm an adult, so hopefully not.
and you can get basics like pizza, chicken fingers,
Not great.
and snacks.
Okay.
Other highlights of the
Ooh.
aquarium include Planet Jellies, life support systems,
I've never seen a jellyfish so big. Was it real? Was there a real jellyfish? I've never seen them so big. I thought they were a little smaller. All the ones I've seen are, well, medium sized, but this looked gigantic.
and the Shoreline Gallery, where you can actually pet the stingrays as they swim by.
This fills me with a lot of stress. I know it's okay, but they have the sort of the other thing, and there it's I think poisonous or something. I don't know. It freaks me out. If you've ever swum in the ocean and you've seen stingrays, you'll know what I mean. It's creepy that people want to actually touch them. You can go into the ocean and actually encounter one of these things, and it's quite scary.
Established
Hall
in
of Fame.
1943, the Hall of Fame serves as a tribute to the legends and pioneers who have shaped the world of hockey, from players and coaches to referees.
Yeah, I would assume Canada is very famous for the hockey, for hockey as in the sport. So it makes sense that, of course you're going to have a hockey hall of fame, and not necessarily Canadians are there. It's just everyone that has ever played hockey, and obviously at a very important level. But of course they have it. They have this. This is such a Canadian thing.
And builders, the Hall of Fame honors those who have made significant contributions to the
gorgeous.
sport. As you walk through the hallowed halls, you'll encounter artifacts and exhibits that chronicle the evolution of hockey, showcasing its cultural significance and impact on Canadian identity. Your first
I'm wondering, did Canadians? No, right? Canadians invented this sport? Probably not. They just made it. Well, no, maybe this would be atrocious on my part, just saying, oh, they made it famous. Probably not really, but they're just, obviously someone brought it. I'm wondering who brought it to there. Probably British immigrants. I don't know, but no, because in Britain they don't really play hockey, so I am very intrigued to know what's the history of hockey in Canada. Or maybe they did create it, which in that case I'm not totally off base.
stop will be the NHL Zone, which offers a deep dive into the league's history, featuring multimedia presentations and
Why
a timeline.
it was torn, but maybe it got damaged during the game.
Moments that have shaped the NHL we know today. The Arena Zone is where you'll find interesting displays and artifacts from the original 6 arenas like Boston Gardens and Maple Leaf Gardens. They have some of the original seating, locker room artifacts, and bricks from the original buildings. World of Hockey is the largest.
You can see the difference. I think hockey is a really tough sport. But looking at the other things that were like from earlier time periods of when hockey was probably starting. You can see everything was leather and everything looked just tougher in general, which makes me a little scared for the players that actually were sort of shaping the sport as we know it.
Largest display in the Hall of Fame and features exhibits and tributes to all 74 IIHF member countries. This area celebrates international hockey and its greatest moments, historic tournaments and games, and it celebrates players from around the world. In women,
you can see how battered things are, and it's making me a little, wow, poor people that actually play this.
Women's hockey, you'll find exhibits about the storied history of women's involvement in hockey going back over a century. The mask is a retrospective that pays tribute to goalies both past and present.
This mask, obviously I understand, but looking at it out of context, just not in a person, in an actual hockey game, this looks like the stuff of nightmares.
And portrays the evolution of the goalie mask as a piece of protective equipment and as a piece of artistic self-expression.
Oh,
wanted to test your
wait, can you decorate them? Can they do this? I've never seen a hockey game in my life, so I have no idea, but I didn't know you could sort of decorate them to your liking.
Skills against the pros? Well, you can here in the NHLPA Game Time area. This interactive section features mini hockey rinks where guests can challenge their own hockey skills against simulated professional players and goalies. One of the biggest highlights of the Hall of Fame, even if you hate the Habs, is the replica Montreal Canadiens dressing room. From 1924 until 1996, this was the dressing room that saw the Habs win 23 Stanley Cups and was considered the most inspirational room in hockey. The most iconic and famous...
Okay, so they're like the most famous team, but was it in this actual place? So they just converted this into a museum at some point.
This artifact at the Hall of Fame is, of course, the Stanley Cup, the most coveted trophy in professional hockey. And
so that's the trophy they get, similar to the World Cup trophy? Maybe not really, but something like that.
One of the oldest professional sports trophies. The cup is located in the cathedral.
Is it the same? Well, I thought there was, I don't know, I thought it was a cup. No, it's not a cup. It's a trophy. Why do they call it cup then? I thought it was an actual with the shape of a cup. But is it the same one? Or is this a replica? Who has it? I have no idea how sports actually work. So if someone wins, if a team wins, don't they should, well, I think this is yearly. Shouldn't they have the cup? Or why is it here then? I'm confused.
Cathedral of Hockey, aka the Great Hall. Also inside the Great Hall, you'll find portraits of all the Hall of Fame members and one of the greatest collections of professional sports trophies in the world.
If I were in the Hall of Fame, I think I would just visit just to see my portrait there. Wouldn't you know, that's me, as if it was a surprise.
Great Hall is an old bank building, and inside the bank vault, you'll find an amazing...
Oh, they also get rings, like the Super Bowl.
...collection of Stanley Cup rings. On your way out, you can check out the special edition Hockey Hall of Fame Tim Hortons.
Again, shouldn't they go to the players? I'm very confused. And of course they have a Tim Hortons. I think that's the most famous Canadian chain.
And grab a coffee and donut. The Ontario Science Centre is an interactive museum 10 kilometers north of downtown Toronto, where visitors can learn about science through play and interactive exhibits. What makes this museum great for kids is that they can touch everything. In most museums, you have to tell kids not to touch.
Yeah, but children's museums are different, and the idea is for kids to actually interact with the pieces, because that's the idea behind this, is that's how they're going to learn.
But here, they can get their hands on almost everything. There's a lot to cover at this museum, so you'll need to set aside a good portion of your day if you plan to add this one to your itinerary. Plus,
it's for kids, clearly, but I think I would like to go. I think as an adult, you actually would be maybe not as fun as if you're a kid, as if you were a kid, but as an adult, I think you would have a great time here. I would definitely set aside some time to go.
Make sure to account for travel time from downtown and back. From the main hub area, you can go off and explore several different areas, including the Innovation Center, which covers subjects like physics, engineering, psychology, and perceptions. And Human Edge, which highlights the incredible potential the human body has, but also its limitations. Probably the most famous thing to do at the Science Center is the hair-raising experience. There's a couple shows scheduled each day, so make sure you fit this one in. Other interesting sections of the museum are the Living Earth Rainforest Experience, the Science Arcade, which covers physics and engineering, Space Hall, Kids Spark, and the IMAX Experience with its 180-degree screen. There are a few places to...
Do they play movies, or is it just for the museum purposes?
Grab food and drinks at the Science Center too, like the Valley Restaurant. Toronto obviously has a huge list of things to do and keep you very busy on your visit, but don't forget to plan some excursions outside the city too. Southern Ontario has a ton to offer outside of Toronto's city limits, and I strongly recommend renting a car and exploring other parts of this province. There's so much to see, and for those who want to get a better sense of what life is like in Ontario, you can head out on day trips and explore beautiful towns, amazing natural beauty, beaches, hiking trails, small museums, and historical locations. If you've got a few days, take a road trip to Prince Edward County, the Bruce Peninsula, Algonquin Park, or the most obvious, Niagara Falls. You can do Niagara Falls in one day, but I would recommend booking a hotel in Niagara on the lake and taking at least 2 days to explore Niagara and all the attractions around the falls. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, as it really helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. I don't always know where I'll be next, but I do know I'll be out there exploring, and I invite you to join me. Thanks, and see you next time.
That last few clips made it so that I wanna move to Canada. I wanna move to Toronto specifically. Well, it was Ontario. I think probably Metropolitan Ontario. I don't even know if you call it Metropolitan Ontario or it's just a name that I made up. But things that are closer to Toronto, but just in the actual province. I think it's a province. But I absolutely love it. There were some incredible views. There was even the road looked beautiful. Not just, I think obviously the Niagara Falls are probably the most famous attraction that there is, I think, just in the world when it comes to Canada. And it was very pretty, yes, but I don't know, the others looked better to me. There were some falls as well. There was the islands, some people surfing. There was an incredible view of the woods that I do not, they looked like the Catskills. I didn't really catch the name, but it reminded me a little bit of the Catskills. But I would love it. And the actual city, there was a city as well, and it looked so incredibly pretty that I would want to go there as well. Maybe that's the city that was near Niagara Falls, and that's what he was saying. You can probably book a hotel for a few days. It looked like a very pretty town. It looked like a very charming town, which it's less, I think, again, less metropolitan, less city-like than Toronto, because everything looked charming and quaint. But it's different. But anyways, I love it. I want to absolutely go there. As for the actual Toronto attractions, even the one, I would want to visit all of them, and I'm like, I want to go there right now. I think the Hockey Hall of Fame, I think, would be the one. I don't know anything about hockey. I think obviously I would go to the other museums, because there was the Ripley's Aquarium and the AG something, and there's the CN Tower, the Royal Ontario Museum. There's like so many of the other museums that I would definitely be very high up on my list. And I think because I'm not that into hockey, I've never actually seen a hockey game. Maybe I would be I'm not so sure if I want to go visit the Hockey Hall of Fame, because it doesn't really, you don't have a connection with it. So why would I go there? But that's what I was thinking. But when I saw the clips, no, I want to go there now. It looked incredible. I think just because I think it would be the perfect target for something like this. Just because I have no idea. I know that hockey always is a sport, and I kind of know the basics a little bit, but I have no idea about anything else. So I think those kind of museums that teach you a lot about the sport, I think would be perfect. Just because, they're going to teach me what hockey is all about, and I'm going to be able to see who have been the most famous and the most important hockey players that have made it into the Hall of Fame. I don't know how the Hall of Fame process works. Who nominates who? How do people vote? I would love to know the process behind this. But just because the technicalities, I'm very curious about it. But I love it, and the actual architecture of the building looked incredible as well. So just that, I think, is worth the visit. The Ripley's Aquarium, absolutely, yes. I love that part. The Science Museum, the one that was for kids. I think I would assume, again, if you don't necessarily have to be a kid to enjoy this. I would assume all the attractions, and because you're encouraged in children's museums, I think you're usually encouraged to, usually kids are encouraged to play around, touch with things, interact with things, because that's the idea. But I think if you're an adult and you do this, I would assume, it's okay. No one's going to be, hey, I'm sorry, the permitted age, it's up to how 12 years old, 11. No, they're not going to tell you anything, but I think, oh, you would think it's for kids, who cares, I want to go, it looks kind of boring. No, it looks incredible. And it's like, no, I don't care. I don't care that I'm not a kid. I still want to go because it looked incredible. It looked super fun. The point is, I think you would need a few days, just because, like they said, because you have to constantly interact with things, it takes more of your time. So you definitely would need to plan ahead. The Casa Loma, yes, absolutely, a resounding yes. I love the idea. There's a huge castle in the middle of Toronto. It looks so weird, just the idea of this ancient piece of, well, not obviously, because I'm sure Toronto has other older buildings, but the idea of a giant castle this in the middle of like nowhere, it looked so weird. It's okay, there's this big piece of architecture that's been here for what, 100 and so years, but it's a castle. I think it's not just how ancient of a building it is, because probably Toronto has other older buildings. It's just the idea that there's a castle in the middle of Toronto. That to me is very weird, just because I associate castles, maybe that's wrong on me, but I associate them with Europe and the UK, France, just the idea of, oh, it's a medieval castle, or just a castle because they were the ones with monarchs. So because what are you doing in Canada? It looks a little bit out of place, but I think it's incredible. I said no, because the guy was rich and he wanted to build a castle. It didn't belong to a monarch. It was just a guy with a lot of money, and he was like, I wanna build a castle. And well, yeah, sure. Then I like it. I love it. And of course the two museums, the Royal Ontario Museum and yes, and of course the markets as well. I loved it, and I think those were probably my favorite parts. Yes, I would want to visit them in a heartbeat, and I have to book my flight to Toronto as soon as possible, because I know this is making me excited. I want to go. And that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.